Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
with me at 6 o'clock in the morning. I have been hustling and bustling since 4 a.m. this morning. I've already got a lot done. I'm already prepared for my meeting. And the only people that kind of got the shaft are you guys this morning. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. Hey, good morning, Steffers. Mama Jax, good morning. Good morning. Which reminds me, I just saw you over there on the vertical. If you guys are on the vertical stream, you'll see the breaking news above my head. If you're on the horizontal screen, you'll see the breaking news behind my back. That'll tell you which stream you are in. You're more than welcome to be in either stream, but if you are new to this channel, you might want to be on the horizontal stream so you can speak freely. Over there on the vertical chat, we've got it set up for 5 days, so only the people that have been around for a while really are over there communicating, and we do that because we don't have that many mods to share around to all of the channels, so we try to make it a little more difficult on the ones that aren't being monitored as much. But we have our beautiful Sonia up in the house, a nice, bright, and awake. I don't know how she does it, but she does it, and here she is. So good morning, Sonia. It's nice to see you. It's nice to see you. And we don't have too many people in the chat this morning. So Blue Wolf became a member yesterday, and it's going to hit all of our previously set up lives, just like any other person that becomes a member. It's going to be on all the lives from this point forward. So it's going to be pretty interesting. Melanie Eeyore Blues, it's nice to see you. Our beautiful Sonia. Thank you so much, Melody. Sending love to Love Machine, because I'm a love machine. I hope you have a good day today, BHB. Everyone else, love to all. Thank you so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Who else do we have? We have me, we have Nightbot, we have Sonia, we have Dreaming of Blue Skies and Sandy Beaches, but not this morning because she's up with all of us. Steffers is blessing us with her presence really, really early in the morning. Mama Jax, it's nice to see you. Good morning, good morning. And Jenny, it's nice to see you. Machete. Hello, hello, love. Hello. I hope everybody's doing well. And then, of course, we have the folks over there on the vertical chat. We got 14 of you. Good morning. And we got Diana, Pat, it's nice to see you guys over there. Turtle Bits, it's nice to see you. Love Bug, big hugs and kisses. Phil, it's nice to see you. And our beautiful Sonia's over there. Reminding everybody, come join us on the horizontal. But if you guys like the vertical and you're just kind of listening, you're not really communicating, and you're not really saying hi to anybody, that you're good. You're good. You're good on any chat you want to be on, all right? You're even good if you didn't have me on a screen because you're just listening. You're just listening. We've got a lot to go over. A couple things are political, but we're driving back into some of the true crime stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on, including I heard a dentist and his wife gunned down. It's becoming a little brutal out there. A 70-something, an elderly lady being pushed in front of a train. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of ugly stuff going on. Who does that? And it being a medical student? Like, what the hell is wrong with people? You know? What the hell is wrong with people? So we're going to have to be very vigilant out there in our society. And most of this is happening in places that are like New York. We got New York people that watch the Bullhorn Betty show. We got people from New Jersey. And not only that, but crime happens in the safest communities in our country. Okay? And in the safest communities of our country, crime happens often. I know you don't want to hear that. You want to think that you're safe, and we want you to feel safe. But we also don't want you to be out there thinking and not being vigilant and thinking you're okay and something happening to you. We'd rather you have a little bit of scaredness in you, right? So it keeps you kind of on your toes, right? We don't want you getting too complacent because this world's crazy. This world's crazy. We got people from all over this world that come here. Phil, one of them, across the pond. And I can tell you just from this conversations that we have and I see in the chat, crime is everywhere, folks, okay? Now, people can say, oh my God, look at the states. They have all these guns. Look at these mass casualty events. But let's face it, we have Australia, which has one of the toughest anti-gun laws in the world. I mean, not to an extent. And they were victim of terroristic threats and terrorism. We just had, on New Year's, or Christmas, I think it was Hanukkah or something like that. Anyways, whatever the case may be, there's evil all over this world, and we are never going to be able to legislate our way out of evil. So it's up to each and every one of us to keep ourselves safe and sound, okay? And not rely on other people. I know we pay law enforcement a lot of money, but by the time you call, I mean, look at this teacher, this Zoe Welsh. She in North Carolina, she was a teacher, and what happened? She's literally on the phone with 911. There's not enough time. Things happen in a split second. You've got to be prepared to save your life, And calling 911 isn't doing that. That woman was a sitting duck. She most likely didn't believe in guns. She most likely didn't believe, in locking these criminals up. And I don't want to harp on her because she's a victim and nobody deserves what happened to her. But it's a valuable lesson to be had here. A valuable lesson to be had. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. So we're going to get into a few political talking points. I got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I got 3. I got 3 little, clips that we're going to throw out there just because, I don't know, just because I want to. Just because I want to. Hey, Libby, Amber, it's nice to see ya. Just because I want to. So, do I have it up here? Is this it? There we go. There we go. Now it's on both screens. There we go. There we go. Some of this stuff I think is funny. Our audience members send us some of this stuff. I will tell you. I will be honest with you.
Weird about all of these left-wing protests over Venezuela? I mean, other than the fact that they're simping for a violent dictator about 2 seconds after screaming "no kings" in the street, just set aside that rampant stupidity for a second and check this out. This is New York City. See this sign right here? Remember that. Because this is Chicago. Same day, same sign. This is Orlando. Same sign as this one in New York City. Boston. Same signs, same day. San Diego. Clear on the other side of the country. Same signs. And all of this was hours after news broke that the United States had arrested Maduro. Gosh, I wonder how all these signs get made so fast. Almost as if it's being funded by really deep pockets or something. Because there's absolutely no way that a bunch of purple-haired, oat milk latte-swilling hipsters from coast to coast managed to mass-produce a bunch of professionally printed signs in the 5 hours between 2 a.m. and 7 a.m. just in time to march through half a dozen major cities by 10, not without being bankrolled and supplied, which is a question you'd think that the media would ask. But no, none of this is grassroots. It's not real. It's being manufactured in a communist factory by elites who are looking to get rich off of left-wing stupidity. So y'all notice anything weird about all of these left-wing protests over Venezuela? I mean, I'm
just saying. And we got a lot of stuff that's pulling down on a lot of our bandwidth here. Because I went outside of X and YouTube and we're doing publications today because I didn't have a whole lot of time to do a lot of research because I had 2 hours to get a shower, wash my hair, put a face on, get dressed, shave my legs, by the way. Yes, they're shaved. I haven't even put lotion on, so I've got to still lotion up, right? And I had to prepare a show for you. And I had to prepare for my meeting. And I had to look great. Not good. Hey, girl mom. Whispering Winds. Faye, good morning, loves. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. We're just kind of kicking the breeze. We're just passing on the love. Because I'm the love machine. Ow!
Told us not to.
All right. If you guys don't know who this is, this is one of the first conservative. I didn't even know there was conservative comedians. I didn't know there was conservative rappers until I met Forgiato Blow, but I still love Forgiato, right? I still love Forgiato. I call him friend. Never met this guy before, but I've loved his work. I've loved his work.
Discuss politics and religion. Now we have a world full of dipshitiots that don't understand either politics or religion. Some labels don't go together, folks. You got a Muslim mayor in New York City now who's a democratic socialist in a constitutional republic. That's one of the biggest contradictions in American governing history. Islam in its governing form doesn't separate faith from law. It believes divine law should rule society. Socialism believes government should control society, but America's Constitution says no, government exists to protect freedom, not define it, not control it, and not enforce religion. You with me so far? You should be. Both Islamists and socialists are collectivists, which means they put the group over the individual. Our republic was built the other way around. The individual over the group, liberty over control. So sure, somebody can hold these titles, but the philosophical differences behind them are going to collide with the very system that protects their right to believe those things. So if you forget that, we're going to trade freedom for control and call it progress. So now you have a certain level of mental retardation, and yes, I mean those words, mental retardation by the very definition of the words, in New York City, cheering for Zohran Mamdani. You just really wanted to touch that button, and now you're about to become a cautionary tale. Should have discussed.
It is going to be sad because everybody's looking at, the financial capital of the world, New York City, because people forgot about 9/11 and they let the devil in. I'm sorry, guys. I'm anti-Islam, period. I do not think it is a religion. I think it is a form of government. I think it is a military book, but I do not believe it being a religious one.
Discuss those politics and religion. Anyway, I love y'all. God bless. You get what you deserve.
Votes have consequences, folks. Votes have consequences. So I wanted to come here. This is where we're going to start lagging because this is where all the advertisements are. So we're going to kind of go through this very quickly. I'm going to get in and get out. And this is really talking about, the U.S. capture of Maduro tests the limits of China's diplomacy, And so this is actually, we're not in unique waters. This is not the first time something like this has happened. So there is a path forward for it. I've looked into it. Thank you. I appreciate that, Amber. I still have allergies. My nose is still going to keep itching. I don't know what it is. It's like I was telling my mom or maybe it was the neighbor. Maybe I was telling Glenn. And I'm like, I don't know what it is. It's got to be an ish thing, like something that's psychological or something. Maybe Betty has gone off the deep end a little. I don't know, but I was telling my neighbor, I'm like, I don't know what it is. Every time I go live, the tip of my nose starts itching. I don't know what it is. No, don't have an itchy nose any other time. But the minute the cameras go on, I'm here talking to you. Maybe it's the wind. Maybe I got a little hair on the tip of my nose, right? That just that moves when the fan's on. I don't know what it is, and maybe it's just being in this chair. I don't know. Okay, folks? I just know every time this camera comes on, my nose is itching, okay? It's a thing, okay? I don't know. Just like I don't understand how people that are on the camera all the time never sneeze. I don't know how many times we are here talking and I'm like, but we never see that on live TV. I just don't understand what's the secret? If you know the secret, send it to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I need my nose to quit itching, damn it. Okay. Oh, and we forgot Sonia's in here and Robin isn't. So we're not going to be able to go over what was said yesterday, but we will rip it off because we are on January 6th. So we're going to have to wait a whole blessed year before Christmas is here again. So that's what it was. If Robin, if you're coming in on the replay crew, good morning. Good morning. Treat yourself to the last of the darn holiday cookies. I do have a 10. I officially have a 10 on my dresser in my bedroom. And I won't tell you guys that I wake up in the middle of the night and open the 10 and get something and chew on it. I don't know why I do that, but I told you. Thank you, Amber. Oh, Pink. It's nice to see you, love bug. Happy New Year. I hope you had a great time. I hope you had a great New Year and Merry Christmas and all the good stuff. Love. See, I'm already doing it right there. You guys saw it. You guys saw it. Now you guys are going to notice every time I'm up here, I'm touching my nose, and you guys are going to know why now. Betty's nose is itching. She must be live. She must be live streaming. Oh, good gracious. What's wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Okay. So this is testing China's strength. So China's top diplomats accused the U.S. of acting like a world judge by seizing Venezuela's leader, Nicolas Maduro. No, he wouldn't. Let's just be very, very clear. This man would never have come under fire. We would have never been over in Venezuela if we didn't tell them over and over again, we are sick and tired of the damn drugs. We're sick and tired of the drugs that are coming over the border, and they keep sending them. Donald J. Trump tried to work with the Venezuela president to put an end to it so no more Americans are poisoned by this garbage. And he goes out there and tells the whole world, come get me. Okay. You got it. We're going to go over there and we are going to get you. Okay? And you will come over here and you will stand trial because we have tried like hell to work with Venezuela to quit getting that poison thrown. We've got people that go out at night and film these zombies in our street. Those people out there that are zombies that everybody calls entertainment has mommies and daddies that love those children. Most of those people have children that love their mommies and daddies and don't even know when they're ever going to see them again or if they'll ever be normal again. And this is happening all over the country and all over the world for that matter. All right? This stuff is not just coming here. It's going everywhere. So we've had it. This is an invasion of our country and they're killing our American citizens. I don't know what you call that. I call that a national security threat. And everybody here should probably think of it as the same thing, in the same way. Just my opinion. But you guys got to remember, those people out there that are slumped over, those are somebody's child. Okay? That's somebody's child. That's not entertainment. It's not what we look at. My heart bleeds when I see that. I can't watch it. It does something to me. When I see people like that, it does something to me in a very, very personal and emotional way. But for the grace of God, there go I, right? One of those moments. And it's very heartbreaking for me. BHB, you're going to get in a fight. That's why your nose is itchy. Oh, good gracious. I've been fighting since I walked out of my mama. Okay, I got this. Let me at him. Scrappy Doo, right? Let me at him. Scooby. I'll get him. Big Mac Mike. It's nice to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Come on, that sticky button. I don't like that sticky. Look at that. I'm hitting it. Out of all the ones to be sticky, it's my laugh, and I don't have a laugh over here. All right, let's get back to our story. So China follows a policy of non-intervention and routinely criticizes military action conducted without the UN Security Council approval. First of all, the UN Security Council, I'm just going to let you know if you're part of it, whatever, if you approve it, if you like it, whatever. The UN, the United Nations, is never going to dictate over America, okay? We'll play nice with them. We'll have diplomacy there, but let's just not forget that we are the strongest nation in the world, okay? We're not going to be taking orders from people that don't know how to close their damn borders and protect their damn citizens, okay? I'm going to tell you that right now. We're not going to be taking any advice from those types of people, and quite frankly, that's the UN Council. So the UN Council can kiss America's big red, white, and blue butt, okay? Just to put that into perspective, in case they didn't know. The U.S. military removal of leader of one of China's all-weather strategic partners, and that's a problem, right? From his capital in the dead of night, it will be a litmus test of Beijing's assertion that it can play a role in resolving global hotspot issues. And I don't think they're prepared for that, because most of the time it's China inspiring these global hotspots. So to have this, but with it being a major ally to China, which again, concerning, because this guy was in our hemisphere. Venezuela is in our hemisphere, not the other hemisphere. And when they have a good working relationship with people that want us dead, such as Russia, such as China, such as Iran, that is putting the United States in the whole hemisphere we're in peril, in jeopardy. We can't have that, and we're going to protect our interests. And I really, truly, I know everybody's sitting here saying, we want the oil, we want the oil. Well, I do agree that, in part, that might be one of the defining factors here. I'm not going to dismiss that as being a possibility, but I think it's much bigger than that. The thing that I'm hearing here, and I'd like to express to all of you guys, is we know that they didn't let Congress know because they didn't want leaks. That means Congress was blindsided by this. Maduro has so much information, and one of the things that I heard before he even got to the ground, he was already being deposed. So before Congress even was aware that we were doing a military operation and kicking in the front door of Maduro's home to bring him here to have due process on his international crimes against America, there's a lot more here. There was a deposition done of him, and I truly believe our elections were stolen. I believe other elections around the world have been stolen as well, directly as a direct result of Maduro. I believe that they have the Chinese, Russia, and Iran with this dictator over in Venezuela try to destabilize the world. So I think that there's a lot more than just the oil when it comes to Venezuela. I think it is fracturing that horrific network of countries. And he's doing things specifically against America, where China, Russia, and Iran really aren't. You see what I'm saying? Because he's the one getting the boats on our shores for all this poison. He's the one that the president has said, listen, stop sending the boats. And he refuses. So we started blowing up the boats. He still kept going. He ended up putting a submarine under the water and trying to get it to our shores. We're done, okay? We're done. This man has had a warrant for his arrest in this country for a really, really, really long time. And then he tells our president, somebody that ain't going to F around, right? He's not going to do it. It's President Trump. He's a freaking New Yorker, okay? New Yorkers don't play. You find me one New Yorker that plays around with your ass, I will shake your hand, okay? I will give you a free Bullhorn Betty shirt if you can find me one New Yorker that ain't going to put you in your place when you think you're going to tell them about themselves. This man told President Trump to come get him. Guess what? President Trump said, okay, I'll happily do that. And here we are. So I don't want to hear anything. He had an opportunity to execute this man. He brought him back to American soil to face consequences and due process under American law. That is a perfect operation, if you ask me. And people can complain about it, but you guys have been begging for due process. Now you got it. Now you got it. So we're going to be seeing how this is going to affect China and what China's diplomacy policy is going to be on these international issues. Are they going to retaliate? At what point are they going to retaliate? And would it be good governance for them? And I don't think it will be. I think this is one of the things that everybody's going to bitch and say, oh, we shouldn't have done that. We shouldn't have done that, knowing we damn well have every right to do what we did. We didn't break any international laws. We didn't break any USA laws. We didn't break any laws. We went and did a nothing more than what we do every day here on this channel is cover a criminal being arrested. Okay, this is just a little different because Maduro captured an entire country. And he's a thug that captured an entire country, kidnapped an entire country, if you will. So I think this is good. Now we're going to move on. I got that. You guys know that we have been in Tennessee. I personally think Tennessee has a lot of problems in it. I'm working very diligently to raise awareness, mostly on the child crime aspect of Tennessee. But I was also a victim of not committing a crime and being arrested and spending tens of thousands of dollars on an unlawful arrest. All these lies they knew were lies, and still tried to protect a citizen of their community instead of following the law and doing the right thing. They are despicable, and this is one county of many in Tennessee. Okay, I have been in a lot of counties in Tennessee covering true crime in those counties, and guess what? I don't like Tennessee law enforcement policies. Okay, I'm not saying I don't like law enforcement there. I think people that get into law enforcement, the majority of them do it from a good place, and we should commend law enforcement that do it. They put their life on the line, and every single day we lose law enforcement around this country, and it is sad because they have families, they love their community, and they deserved to thrive in that community instead of having their life, snuffed out. However, it's becoming very clear that they have poor training in Tennessee. This goes beyond the pale. They continuously arresting people that they are deeming under the influence, that are literally taking blood tests and proving they have no alcohol or drugs in their system. I'm sorry, that is terrible training. Okay? Terrible training. This is happening so much that we keep hearing about this going on in the news in the state of Tennessee. And this was dropped about 6 hours ago. I think it is just an update on the story we previously provided to all of you guys. Oh, and by the way, if you guys are on the replay crew, good morning. It's nice to see you. I'm sorry we had to do the show so extremely early this morning, but it was the only way that I could do a show and get and do all of this stuff. Trust me, I'm going to be one exhausted cookie this afternoon, which is why I'm not committing to any type of live when I get back here, because if I get back here at 4 or 5 o'clock, I would have been up and working for well over 12 hours, right? So you can imagine a 12-hour day is pretty freaking exhausting for you. Well, it's the same for me as well, okay? It's very, very exhausting. I work very hard, and today I'm going to be not here. I'm going to be doing community activism and work today. So...
Investigation details hundreds of DUI traffic stops where the person arrested ended up being completely sober.
Not surprising, numerous lawsuits have been filed over the issue. Now this new data shows it's happening in departments all across the state. Here's News 2's Kelly Milan.
All across the state. How do they get their officers trained so poorly? And if they're trained this poorly in DUI, what else are they trained poorly in? You guys know I have a problem with their policing on child crime cases. I literally think that I call them idiots, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the actual detectives. I know their heart is in the right place. I just don't know how in the world their education in training is garbage. And how nobody is pulling their head out of their butt and realizing they have these made. And I've been screaming about this for years, folks. You know, and they're like, oh my gosh, we're so shocked that this is happening all over the state. Well, maybe you need to come over to the Bullhorn Betty channel, because we've been covering it for years. For years. I am a victim of Tennessee, okay? I was arrested when I didn't commit a crime. In Tennessee. So bet your ass I'm well aware of the issues. And I'm just shocked that their news has their heads so far up their rear end, they're none the wiser. This is why we hate mainstream media. We've been talking, how long have we been talking about this? Can somebody give me an answer? I mean, because the first case I covered was Gabby Petito. The next case I covered was Kathleen Moore, right on the heels of Gabby Petito. And when they were finding her body, which is right where Jonathan and I told law enforcement and our audience at the time exactly where she was, they were pulling her body out while we were leaving the state of Florida to head to Tennessee to start covering our first Summer Wells, our first trip on Summer Wells case. I remember it because I was on the phone and I'm like, they found the body. And we were literally hitting the Florida-Georgia line when the body was being pulled out from behind Colin Knapp's house. So I remember this like it was yesterday, okay? And ever since, and when I first went in there, when we first got into Summer Wells, law enforcement was very receptive of our work, right? They were very receptive. We were kind of, we were just very bold, okay? We jumped out of cars with cameras and phones and microphones, right? And just put people on the spot. That was kind of our shtick. Back when we first started with the Summer Wells case, is there was so many people, we needed to get down to the bottom of it, so we just figured shock and awe was the perfect strategy for that. And so we found out a lot of information and went to the detectives. Detectives very receptive. They met with us for, I think, like a total of 2 hours over or 4 hours over a 2-day period, 2 hours one sitting, 2 hours another sitting, and that's kind of where we were, or maybe it was something like that. I can't remember. I know we met with them twice. One to tell them we were in town, one to tell them, you know, some of the findings that we found out. But shortly after that, when we went to phase 2, when we started trying to hold the TBI accountable and started doing protests and stuff there, you know, we started realizing the fractures of the state, of TBI. We started realizing TBI didn't have it together. We started looking into the history, the criminal history of Tennessee's makeup. You know, how often are they doing circumstantial cases? You know, just a history, a baseline for the state. And we realized the state doesn't do circumstantial cases. And we're very much a data-driven country now. Everything is electronic. Everything is done by electronic means. Your food stamps are no longer mailed to you. You have an electronic mean. You have a card, an EBT card that you use that has a PIN number in. You've got credit cards. You got cars that track you, smartwatches that track you. Hell, your jewelry is even tracking you this day and age. Your earbuds are tracking you. You can't go anywhere without being tracked. So whenever you hear of a state that is anti circumstantial case, you got yourself a problem. That tells me that there's something blocking them up here. It's a training issue. Okay, when you look at a state and see that they very rarely touch circumstantial trace, you know that you've got a block. Somebody is training these people to think that circumstantial cases are bad. They're not teaching their people correctly, and that's the first. So I identified it, in my opinion, in the prosecution of Tennessee, but I had not quite labeled it being a law enforcement issue. By the time I wrapped up with the Summer Wells case, I realized we had a law enforcement issue, but I thought maybe it was just in Hawkins County because we knew the sheriff there was kind of wishy-washy. He's bad, okay? I don't like the sheriff. Any sheriff that allows their children to get away with horrible crimes and don't hold them accountable or somehow influences their outcome, they are a piece of shit to me, okay? We don't have and have nots. We don't have a good old boy system in this country anymore, and that is a good old boy system where you're trading your status for a favor to get your son off out of trouble from being in jail for 20 years for diddling with kids. I'm sorry, Ronnie Lawson should have been in jail right next to his son for what he did there. He should have been in jail. He's a criminal in my book, okay? I'm not going to change my stance on that because he influenced the outcome of his sick son's case, and his son is sick in the freaking head. And he covers his son's ass, and he's been covering his son's ass his entire life. It's sick. And so I thought it was just because Ronnie Lawson was corrupted, right? Well, come to find out, this is all over the state of Tennessee. So hearing this from these talking heads on their news saying, we found, well, the report said this is more widespread. Well, no shit. That's what Bullhorn Betty, has been saying for years. But guess what? I didn't have to spend $2 million of taxpayer money for common sense just so you could have it in the black and white. I want to know how much that report cost the state of Tennessee to actually have common sense. You needed to pay $2 million for a report of nothing but common sense because you're too stupid to actually think for yourself. That's the way I think of Tennessee. Tennessee's stupid. Tennessee is stupid. A lot of people are using the R-tard word. If you want to talk about the R-tard word, if we were to assign a state with the R-tard word, Tennessee would be my R-tard, okay? Tennessee would be my R-tard.
I don't understand.
Are you being arrested?
I'm being arrested? I don't know why.
What happens when you are sober and get arrested for a DUI? It sounds rare, but it's now backed by data. According to the Tennessee Bureau investigation, 419 people in Tennessee were arrested for a DUI in 2024, despite having no alcohol detected in their blood. Stephanie Fair is one of them.
You haven't had any alcoholic.
It makes you wonder. Were they doing it for funds? Because you got to remember, every time somebody is arrested, the jail gets money, the state gets money, the attorneys get money. And guess what? You as the DUI person, you have to pay. Is this another fraud on the people by the government? I mean, we've been having a lot of fraud. We know people need money. This is a lot of money. I can tell you there's been at least 20 people. Think about it. Every single one of those cost about $20,000, right? So you've got several $1 million per every 10, right? 200,000. So 10. I don't know. My math, I can't think of my math on the top of my head. But if I'm calculating it, you guys get it. It costs a lot of money. And who's benefiting from this? Attorneys, the state, the prosecutors, the defense, the public defenders. They're all getting money. They're all getting money from this. Okay? So let's not forget. That's why I don't like DUIs. You know, all the mad moms and stuff like that. I love you. I'm sorry that your child or your family were killed by a drunk driver. I'm sorry. But this is a misdemeanor charge. And when you have a misdemeanor charge have more financial responsibility than a felony, we got a problem here. That to me violates the law. All right? That to me violates the law because we have a law that basically says that your charge should not exceed the crime, right? And so if we have a misdemeanor and all misdemeanors are charged at $2,500, why is this one $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 for a low-level misdemeanor? It doesn't make sense. It's a racket. It's financial. It's money. This is what I do not like about our government. This is not their responsibility, okay? Educating us and sending us to school is not a job for our government. It is a job for maybe nonprofit organizations, but not for our government. Our government is to provide law and orders. That means if I break the law enforcement is there to arrest me. And no other time should they be in my life unless I'm committing a crime or I need their assistance. Okay? They definitely shouldn't be coming from Tennessee to hunt me down in Florida and try to arrest me here in Florida to drag me back to Tennessee because I was in their state for 3 days not breaking a crime or breaking a law. So I understand and feel for these people. Okay? But let's not mistake, this is a money racket. Okay? DUIs and all of MAD, okay, those parents, the person that invented it, how much money is she now making? So let's not forget what it truly is about. Maybe it was originally about saving lives, but I can tell you it turned into a deeply disturbing animal since that moment. Okay? MAD and what they do to our justice system is an abomination. And I'm saying that wholeheartedly. I'm saying that wholeheartedly. I love the idea of MAD, but I hate what MAD became. Okay? I hate what MAD became. I hate what SAD became. It became a money racket. That's it. folks. Unfortunately, that's the way the cookie crumbles. So let's keep listening.
No, sir.
Today or last night?
No, sir. I all my life. I get migraines. I can't drink. All my life. All my life.
What do you do for work?
I'm a mom of 4.
You're a mom of 4, so you're a stay-at-home mom?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. What I want you to do is I want you to face my car.
Okay.
Place your hands behind your back.
Why?
Because you're being placed under arrest for DUI.
Fair's arrest dates back to June of 2024. In a lawsuit, Fair alleges the trooper improperly administered field sobriety tests, handcuffed her.
I can tell you, I can never take a field sobriety test. I have equilibrium problems. This is something that they don't even take into consideration. I'm deaf in one of my ears. People have no earthly idea Matt is no longer run by moms. It's political. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. It may have been a good idea at one point, but it has become a money racket. I want to put an end to it. Okay? I am anti-Matt. I'm anti-SAT. I'm anti any type of government that sits there and puts these bold things. This is a misdemeanor. A misdemeanor. And this is a misdemeanor that will literally put you in a poorhouse. It's sick. And this is being abused across this country. Trust me, it's not just in Tennessee that this lady's going through. And this is going to cost this lady tens of thousands of dollars to fight the system. You know what, Tennessee? F you, F you, F you, F you, F you. Okay? I'm sorry. You are a danger to the citizens of your state. You are officially a freaking danger to the citizens of your state. You are a danger to the children. But now you're just a danger to everybody. Just a danger to every blessed body. Shame on Tennessee.
Illegally induced her to consent to a blood draw and took her to jail. After months of waiting for test results, the blood draw showed no alcohol detected and no basic drugs detected.
What's going on? So she almost hit me. I come up to the car and it just reeks of alcohol. And I'm like, have you had any of it? She's like, no, I'm coming from an ice cream bar. I was like, okay. I was like, but it smells like alcoholic beverage coming from inside the car.
Well, apparently, scent doesn't matter. Because let's face it, what happens if she was going to the grocery store and she picked up a 12-pack of beer? What happens if she left it on and maybe there was something there? Let's say a rake, one of those little rakes. And she stuck stuff on it and one of those rakes poked a hole in her beer can, her husband's beer can, right? And so now there's beer smell in her car. So now she's going to jail for a DUI because her car smells like beer? Or how about it's something else? What if she just had nasty socks or gym bag in there because she's borrowing her husband's car? I'm sorry, some of that stuff smells a little funky, and you don't know what kind of funk you're smelling. Is it alcohol? Is it dirt? Is it sweat? It just smells funky, right? It smells like a bar. Maybe your husband's an alcoholic and he likes to play football with his friends, and he left his bag in here, and you smell beer coming out of his clothes. That was this is poor training. Poor training. One of the things that they teach our officers here in Florida is that smell doesn't matter, right? It's an indicator, but it's not an end-all be-all, right? Even the marijuana, that stuff lingers for a while. I mean, take my vehicle, for example, when we were down in Georgia. Dolly would hotbox in the car, okay? Whenever I turned the car smelled like, marijuana for 6 months. It was somebody in my chat. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I fear, I told you guys, I'm like, I am fearful that I'm going to get pulled over and get searched. My car's going to get searched because it reeks of marijuana. And somebody told me about Monster. And so I didn't believe it, but it's an original, your original green can Monster. Well, they told me to go and put that in the car, pop the top and put in the car for a couple days, and it will take all the smell out of the car. And I'm like, no way. And it just so happened to have a Monster from that very event because people sent out a bunch of drinks and Monsters and stuff like that. So I popped the top and stuck it in the car, And so, believe it or not, by the grace of God, The marijuana smell after 6 months was truly gone from the car, and it took me popping a top of a Monster to get that smell out of my car. But if I had gotten pulled over, you mean to tell me that if I was in Tennessee, I would have been arrested for possession of a controlled substance when there was no possession of a controlled substance in my car? It was just the smell? And it was something that I didn't even do. I'm just saying. Just, I'm going to get in trouble. I want to do it. I'm just saying, at least I want to have a little bit of fun before I go clink, clink, right? If I know I'm going clink, clink, Betty's getting wild. I'm just saying. If I knew I was going to go to jail in Tennessee and I was going to have to take a ride, I would have made sure it counted. I'm just saying. I would have. I roll like that. I'm just saying. Did I tell you I was a wild child once upon a time? I think I still got what it takes. People like Betty. You're much different than it's been 20 years since you've been like that, Betty. I don't think you got what it takes anymore. If you did, I think you forgot about it at this point. I'm just saying, Betty.
He's like, yeah, no, I have a drink. I don't drink. I was like, well,
How'd she do on the test?
you can see it in her eyes. Her eyes were bouncing.
How did she do on the test? He asked her, and he wouldn't answer about the test. Oh, you could see it in her eyes. You could see it in her eyes. I will tell you this. My mom has had eye problems her entire life. She's had to wear thick contacts on her eyes. Well, those thick contacts irritate her eyes. So she walks around with her whites red, okay? And it's simply because of the thickness of her contacts on her eyeballs. Okay, her eyeballs look better because they've come out with a lot of technology this day and age. Plus, she's had, the LASIK eye surgery, so some of that stuff has been minimized. She doesn't have to have those thick contacts anymore. But my mother had very thick contacts that she had to wear, and it irritated her eyes all day long. She adjusted to it, but it didn't take the redness out of her eyes. So this whole thing about we can look at somebody's eyes and see it, bull crap. Because there's people that have medical conditions that have your eyes bloodshot red and that don't do any drugs or alcohol. Because I can tell you, my mama's straight as a freaking arrow. When we were growing up, my mama did not drink. She did not smoke. She did not do any of the funny stuff. She was a good mother, a good Southern mother. The house was clean from top to bottom all day long, every day. She took very good care of us. We didn't have dirt on us, right? And our entire family and home was spick and span. That's just how we were raised. Okay? So the lady didn't do anything funny, but her eyes were always bloodshot red. If my mom was pulled over today with this right here, she'd be going to jail. That's nuts. Oh shit, you can see it in her eyes. No, you can't.
A former Bravo TV reality star and singer says the arrest followed her long after the release.
Fortunately, Stephanie suffered tremendous harm from having her mugshot and a description of the incident.
Yeah. And you know what? Tennessee should be facing freaking court hearing from Bullhorn Betty because they did the same thing to me, just not on a DUI. It was a chumped up charge.
Posted all over the internet.
The data only came to light after a new law passed last year, requiring the state to release previous years of DUI arrests where blood tests later show no alcohol detected.
It is such a widespread issue in the state of Tennessee, they're forcing them to produce a report. Every law enforcement needs to be retrained in Tennessee.
According to the TBI, the State Highway Patrol made 37 arrests for DUI in Nashville. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office made 16, and the Laverne Police Department made 11.
Over 400 improper arrests related to DUIs, sober DUIs.
Wow. And all of those people, 400. They're talking about 400. Let's do 400. Let's find out what... Of course, my other phone's not in here. Let me do it over here. Let's see what 400 times $20,000. That is $8 million for the state. Between public defenders, prosecutors, the fees from the courts. You're talking about $8 million. $8 million. This is a financial racket. Nobody makes this many mistakes. Nobody makes this many mistakes. I'm sorry. It's hard for me to believe that this many mistakes are truly being made when it comes to the DUI processing. I don't know. I have a little bit of a problem. Here's the one I was talking about, an elderly lady right here. Medical student. Yeah. Medical student here pushed a 72-year-old man into a moving train on a random New Year's Day attack. A medical student. One that's going in before the people to say, hey, your life matters to me so much I want to save it, right? And then he effectively ends a 72-year-old person's life. Now, I don't know if this person has died, but look at this, okay? I'm sorry, I have a problem. Why in the world would this medical student push some old 72-year-old something? I wonder if the guy was a Jew that was pushed in front of. I wonder if this was a hate crime. This is starting to feel very hate crimey. Okay? Very hate crimey. This happened in New York, Bronx, New York. A medical student has been charged with attempted murder in connection with the random subway attack in the early hours of New Year's Day. 3:30 a.m. on January 1st, 72 Julio Figueroa was standing on a platform at the Bronx subway station when he was approached by a stranger and pushed onto a southbound train that had just come into the station. He sustained head injuries after he repeatedly bounced off the train and onto the platform. Wow. He's lucky to be alive. The attack rendered this man unconscious. And a 29-year-old Anton Alishin, a medical student, I wonder where he came from. The Post reports that Ashen previously worked as a doctor in Russia. But hey, let's just keep letting these animals come to our country. I mean, we got enough Americans to kill. Don't worry about it. I'm sure it'll take a while before they get to all of you. I'm sure it'll take a while. So don't worry about it. We'll just keep the borders open, right? Just keep the borders open, the people coming, whatever the case may be. So we've been covering a quadruple homicide out of Lake County, Tennessee, right? And his name is Austin Drummond, which, again, another Tennessee case where a man should have been locked up in custody and never released because he was charged with attempted murder while in custody, in prison, nonetheless. And, yeah, I know, Amber, Russia. I'm telling you, we have a lot of people that should not be in this country, okay? Bad guys come into this country with a whole bunch of excuses. Look at all these Somalis that decided to defraud the America. You think that other people aren't defrauding America in other ways to get here? Lying on applications to get here? To cause destruction in our streets? To cause instability around this country? You guys need to wake up, okay? We have a lot of people that want to see the United States fail. And as you're seeing, people are becoming more and more brutal. And they're being more and more brutalized. So we've got to be careful here. We really, really, really do. So one of 4 people's charged as an accessory in the Austin Drummond case is pushing for his charges to be dropped. Eric Weiss' attorney claims Wise knew nothing of the 4 murders in Lake County that Drummond is charged with carrying out. Oh, thank you. Who is that? Aaron, thanks for being the newest subscriber. If you guys are in the vertical chat, this is just a reminder. You might want to come over to the horizontal chat. The vertical chat, you have to wait 5 days to talk. Over here on the horizontal, we only make you wait 20 minutes. So if you'd like to come over here and hang out, that would be great. We are considering lowering those thresholds now that things have calmed down on this channel a little bit. We'll see how it works out and see if we can lower those thresholds so everybody can kind of come here and chat about these cases like normal people, right? And hopefully that will be the case in the near future. But for the time being, we'll just kind of, check this out and see how things are going to go for a little while. So they're saying that Eric Wise wants his charges dropped. His attorney claims Wise did not have money to buy a phone for Drummond, which he's accused of doing. Wise attorney says he will not be accepting any kind of plea deal. So when I hear things like that, then it tells me that Wise's attorney believes he's on the right side of things when it comes to this, that the bar is so low, or that they have some wiggle room, or his clients produced him enough information that he truly believes his client's story, which, believe it or not, can be the case. When you go to people, like when it came to my attorney with all the stuff going on in Tennessee, I had to convince my attorney, the one that I've got, I'm not going to say his name publicly unless we do a meeting or an interview or something like that. But at the end of the day, I had to go through a lot of stuff. I had to send him over 600 videos. I had to, get transcripts and put links. I had to convince him that I did not do or say any of this stuff online. And so once I proved to him that these were all lies, now I've got a man willing to fight for me in my corner, right? But it took a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of stuff to get that done. So when I hear stuff like they're not going to be taking any plea deal or anything like that, he feels like his case is tight. He must have already received some discovery, realized the discovery is weak, and maybe trying to railroad their client. They cannot withhold, the state cannot withhold any exculpatory evidence toward their client. Anything that can help prove his innocence or prove their conviction, everything has to be turned over. And if it's not, then they're doing wrong. The prosecution is doing wrong, and they shouldn't. So the 4 victims were found dead on July 29th on Carrington Road, and that's in Tiptonville, approximately 40 miles away from where the 7-month-old girl was dropped off in Dyer County in a yard earlier that day. The Dyer County District Attorney's Office identified the victim as the baby's father being 21-year-old Matthew Wilson and mother 20-year-old Adriana Wilson, maternal grandmother Courtney Rose, and the maternal uncle 15-year-old Brandon Williams. So all these people were deceased at their hands. And so Eric Wise is saying, I didn't buy the phone. They're saying I bought him the phone, and that's why I'm an accessory. I would say before or after the fact, and he's saying, I did not buy him the phone. So there's a reason why they believe this phone was provided by Eric Wise. Now, is their attorney going to be able to overcome it? Maybe there's a possibility. I really don't know. But very interesting update on this. And many of you guys know, just recently, Mel Koberger has broke her silence about her brother. Brian Koberger is accused of unaliving 4 University of Idaho students on their off-campus housing. We covered the case extensively. I made 2 tours out to this case. One of the first and most notable identifying markers is that I didn't believe, as soon as the first time I stepped on this property and walked around it, I no longer believed that it was any of their friends, that it was anybody that they specifically knew or that was in their circle. I just didn't believe it. There was something that I felt when I was there that gave me the confidence to make the statement that I did not think anybody from the University of Idaho that was with them, that was their friend, that was hanging out with them, was responsible for this heinous act. It was that moment that I had clarity that we were looking in all the wrong places. And I even spoke and told my audience that we're probably going to find out this person is somebody that none of us are looking at, and how right that statement was. And I had no idea that that would be the case. But his sister, he's come under heavy scrutiny. His family's come under heavy scrutiny. How much did they know? Did they know that their brother, family member was going to be this serial killer or working toward being a serial killer? Did they know he was weird when he was, we had a lot of questions that nobody was answering. And it looks like his sister is finally speaking publicly about what had happened. So I'm just going to read this so we're all kind of on the same page. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time with this because, the kids are gone. And I feel like no matter what, until this dies down a little bit, this case will always be about Brian Koberger and not the victims. And that's what hurts my heart the most when it comes to this case, because these kids should be honored. They should be the only focus of this from this point forward, but they're not. Brian Koberger's name is still popping up everywhere, and I just want his name to die. I just want him gone, right? I want him to do the same thing with what I want his name to go through, right? I want it just to die. But here we go. So let's learn a little bit about, his sister in part. Something that they say you need to know is Bryan Kohberger was convicted in 2025 in connection with the 2022 murders of 4 University of Idaho students, Kaylee Gonzalez, Maddie Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapman. His sister, Mel Kohberger, spoke publicly for the first time in a January 2026 interview with the New York Times. She said her family did not know he was the murderer and even warned him to stay safe from the psycho killer on the loose after the murders. Wow, that's crazy. In 2022, Mel Kohberger's life was upended when her brother was arrested for stabbing 4 college students to death at an off-campus residence at the University of Idaho. Bryan Kohberger later pleaded guilty to killing Kaylee Gonzalez, Maddie Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, and was sentenced to 4 life terms in prison without parole, plus 10 years for the burglary. After his arrest, the Kohberger family, Mel, his sister, Amanda, and their parents, Marianne and Michael, became the focus of tabloid attention and online speculation about whether they had known anything beforehand. Mel said she had no idea her brother was a killer. I have always been a person who has spoken up for what was right, she told the New York Times in January 2026. If I've ever had a reason to believe my brother did anything, I would have turned him in. So that kind of tells us something, because we heard that one of the sisters had called. I think that was rumor as well, folks. That interview marked the first time Mel had spoken publicly since her brother's arrest. Here's everything to know about Bryan Kohberger's sister and what she said about his crime. They were raised in Pennsylvania. Mel and her 2 siblings were raised in the Poconos Mountains in Pennsylvania, according to her interview with the New York Times. CBS News reported that their mother worked for the school system and their father was a maintenance employee. She told the New York Times that Marianne raised her children with Catholic teachings and that both parents imparted values of self-reliance, loyalty, and putting other people's needs before their own. I totally disagree with the teaching of putting other people's needs above their own. You are not a healthy, happy individual and cannot help other people if you yourself are not in a good position to be able to help people. So you should always, especially if you are wanting to help people, always take care of yourself first so you can be there for the people that you need to be there. I do not believe in that teaching at all. You need to take care of yourself. You need to make sure you're on good footing, that you have a stable life. And if you accomplish that, then you help others. Okay? You have to take care of yourself and put yourself on the right footing before you can help anybody. You are no good to anybody else if you have no ability to help them. Okay? So I just want to tell you, unfair for her to be bullied, though. She didn't know, but she did suspect her. For her to say that, actually odd, they weren't even close to the area. I'm from Pennsylvania, Amber says. I mean, to be fair, we all didn't know her brother was an unaliver. Yeah, but there were, Sandwich, come on. You know, I don't even think you really believe that wholeheartedly. I mean, we all have weird people in our family, and we all know that they're the weird person, okay? And they all knew that, you know, he had some weird, I mean, even people wouldn't even have anything to do with them. I mean, they could have been in denial, though, but to say that they had no knowledge, I don't agree 100%, but in all fairness, I do believe that serial killers have a way of hiding this deep, dark secret. That's what allows them to work. I think Bryan would have been very, very successful if he didn't try to fight or be this person at that moment, because that's what caused the knife sheath to be left there. I'm not sure if, because we didn't hear the trial, I'm not sure if that knife sheath wasn't left there, if we would be here right now. he may have gotten away with it, folks. I mean, it could have been just that close to him getting away with it. Nobody had any idea who this man was. And from what everything I hear, it doesn't sound like there was a whole lot of cross-contamination with DNA except for that one spot. But I believe there were more things tying him together. And that may have been something that they would have been. But I don't know. No, I'm saying she knew. Oh, okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Now, did anybody, I'm sure they're in denial. Like if, for example, if my mom became a serial killer, sorry, mom's going to be like, really, Betty, this is how rumors get started. I know. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry. I love you. But let's just say that my mom, is a serial killer. Okay. I know it's funny. Let's laugh about that because I'm laughing trying to put my mom as this serial killer. Okay. Jesus. Okay. Anyways, so if my mom was a serial killer and somebody tried to come to me and tell me that, we believe your mom's a serial killer, right? I'd look at them, I'd laugh in their face, right? I would be in denial. Now, has my mom done some weird stuff over the years? Maybe all that cleaning, that OCD, her coming into my room, waking me up every morning with the freaking, vacuum was just, her, Rocky Balboa, training, right? She's just wanting to make sure she gets all the DNA and hair fibers out of there. That's all. So maybe I look at a pie that, my mom really was super clean. I always thought her being so clean was really odd. I always thought there was some funny business with Mama Bullhorn, right? Like, why is she always this clean? Oh, because she's covering up that. Sorry. Still trying to keep a straight face with my mom being a serial killer. But hey, whatever. Oh, good gracious. I'm starting to leak. Hopefully the kimchi puff pass holds up. We'll see if kimchi puff pass holds up. I'll do a little thing on kimchi puff pass. I actually kind of like it. Everybody, I'm not with the tier. I'm not with that. It's not for 40-year-old skin. It's just not. Okay. That tier stuff, that everybody's like, oh my gosh, why don't you just take all that? You young folks, you guys can use that. You guys got the skin to use it, but you get a little older, you start getting those fine lines. That stuff is not for 40-year-old skin, okay? And it's definitely not for 50-year-old skin. So you babes out there that are just on TikTok and say, ooh, the tier, oh, I just love it. Oh, it's gonna match my skin. It's gonna hide all. No, It's $25 for that, and I just want to throw it away. Actually, I got it to where I put it on, and then I fix it, and make it workable. But I don't like it. I'm not going to be selling tier. But the kimchi puff pass. I don't know. I kind of like the stuff. I kind of like it. Okay, I ain't gonna lie. All right, I didn't know about bacon before, right? I thought it was when you protest and you wear a hat and you turn red because you're baking out there in the sun that's what you need to do. Well, no. Now we bake our face. Do you guys know that? Women bake their freaking shit on their face now. I know it wasn't tier. I was crying. No! I was crying. I always use cheap stuff. I love the cheap stuff. It does great. I don't know why everybody thinks they have to go buy $50 products. Like, I'm using Revlon primer. I'm using Maybelline Photo Finish or Fit Me foundation. I'm using, the Wet n Wild setting powder. And I'm telling you, I just bought like $100 worth of tier from TikTok and kimchi puff pass. I was thinking that did it come with the funny stuff? Did I get a twisty in there or something? But it didn't. It just came in pink and white. There was no green. I'm just saying. I checked. No green, folks. But that's all right. I see the puff pass part of it. I mean, yeah, you get something that works, you want to pass it around. All right? So we're passing some powder around. Just a different kind of powder than we used to pass around. That's all I'm saying. I'm not doing this powder on the back of a toilet tank. I'm just saying, okay? I'm not going to be going into the bars looking for me some kimchi pass, baby. And I got Ivender and pink. And I like them. I like both of them. I'm wearing the pink right now. If you guys want to know, I think it highlights beautifully. I'm just saying. Don't worry, we'll have a link. If you guys are getting the kimchi pass, baby, you better buy it from Bullhorn Betty. Okay? That 0.00001% of commission that I get, that two. Go to my next pair of glasses. Don't know. I'm just joking. I don't even think I have it on it. Okay, anyways, let's get back to I don't know how we got so far off base. But anyways, so she told them that Mary Ann raised her children with Catholic teachings. And again, putting their needs before other people, I don't believe that. You put God first, okay? That's the only person you should be putting before yourself. It should be God, family, you, okay? And if you go God, you, family, I'm fine with that too, okay? I'm fine with that too. You do you, but always do you. Then you're there for other people. Please remember that. Please remember it. Anyways, Mel and Brian are bonded over shared interest in psychology and crime. She said the whole family was so proud when Brian got accepted into the PhD program in criminology at Washington State University. And again, I've looked at some programs, why he went so far away from home. I knew he had bought that. It wasn't until later, but I knew he had purchased that knife before he went there, because in my theory, after I realized who Brian was and I studied him and I started looking into him and looking into his history and looking into like that lady that wrote the book on BTK, the Rumslin lady, right? Catherine Rumslin or Kathleen Rumslin or something like that, whatever her name is. I started looking in there, and then I started realizing after hearing some interviews with people that he was associated with during that time, and I realized he was finding out about himself. That was the reason why he even got that puff pass, Betty. Yeah, there you go. I don't recommend getting the minis. I got the minis because I didn't know if I was gonna like it. I bought the regular one for the tier, and I didn't like it. I hated it. I literally hate it. I don't like it. Okay. I'll do a class on it, whatever, but I don't like the tier. Younger skin, if you're like under 30, maybe it'll work better for you. But I got like some scarring right here and some fine line. I didn't like how it made my face look. I'll just tell you. At the end of the day, I believe he picked that university for a reason. I think he truly wanted to hunt. I think he went out there to hunt. I think that is identified in his behavior after he left Pennsylvania. He left Pennsylvania. He ran around. He started trying to figure out who he was going to target. I mean, he was there in July, and by August he had already made his mark. He had already started following either Maddie or Kaylee because he had already started going by the house. So he already had identified who his victims were. It's scary. But when reflecting on their childhood, sister told the New York Times she never witnessed him being violent, even citing an incident where he de-escalated an argument between them by holding back her hands. She did note, however, that her brother had overcome so much over the years that he was bullied for being overweight as a teenager and started using H. During his addiction, Brian once alleged he stole Mel's phone and sold it at the mall to buy more substances. Brian eventually went through treatment, which Mel claimed had put him on a better path. He started studying psychology at DeSales. So I don't think the H was because he was heavy. I think the H was because he was realizing he had a beast in him that he didn't know how to calm. And I think that the calming effects or the dope effect of H stopped that process of his brain from, and of course when he got better, he goes over to DeSales, and now he's programmed his brain to be this serial unaliver. He started studying psychology at DeSales University in Eastern Pennsylvania and expressed an interest in becoming a police officer. After news of numerous of the murders of Gonzalez, Mogan, Kernodle, and Chapin spread in November of 2022, Mel feared for her brother's safety. She knew Brian lived 15 minutes from the site of the killing and would often leave his door unlocked during late night jogs. Interesting. How would she know she wasn't here? Brian, you are running outside and this psycho killer is on the loose, she remembered telling him per New York Times. Be careful. He repeatedly thanked her for checking in and promised to stay safe. That had to have been weird. The month after Mel had relayed the message of safety, Brian was arrested. A month after, Brian was arrested at the family home in Pennsylvania. He had returned to their parents' home for the holidays, and Mel had spent Christmas playing TV party games. One night, she cut her finger while cleaning the kitchen, and Brian, who she said expressed disgust at the sight of blood, helped her cover the cut with a bandage. Well, he seemed perfectly fine with the scene he left. On December 30th, 2022, officers burst into the house in the middle of the night to make an arrest while Mel and the Koberger's other sister, Amanda, weren't home. Amanda was the one to break the news to her. She was like, I'm with the FBI. Brian has been arrested, Mel told the New York Times. I was like, for what? The Idaho murders, Amanda says. That had to have been freaky. Like, freaky. So Mel had pursued a career in mental health counseling and was training for a job as a mental health therapist in New Jersey. But she told the New York Times after her new employer became overwhelmed with inquiries, she agreed to leave the position before it formally began. So she lost her job because of this, or her career because of her brother, people looking in. And of course, we're going to look in, right? There's 4 people are deceased. I really don't care. In all fairness, this lady can find another job somewhere else. I really don't care. She has an opportunity to fight another day. The 4 victims do not. And it is our responsibility to get to the bottom of that. And so obviously she had quite a price to pay for being related to Brian. In addition to losing out on a job, Mel has also had people attempt to make money from the horrific crime off her name. She cited a book about the case that appeared on Amazon, and the author was listed as Melissa J. Koberger. Oh, some people are stealing her name. Wow. It's confusing, she says. It's painful. It's like being victimized, but not really being a victim. Since his arrest, Mel said she and her family have tried to support Brian. She told the New York Times that though they don't discuss the case, they have regular calls where they talk about updates from home and their shared interest in psychology. For one of his birthdays, Brian told families to make a cake Amanda would like and ask Mel to blow out the candles for him. Though she did not attend his 2025 sentence hearing to care for their father, who she says has developed a heart problem. I can imagine, he's probably heartbroken. Mel says she still found a way to show her support. She explained the New York Times that small heart draws seen on a piece of paper in front of her brother, which was scrutinized by online sleuths. In reality, Mel said the drawing was meant to let her brother know he was loved. Well, I'm glad her brother can feel loved because he took 4 beautiful souls out that never get to feel that ever again. And while I think no matter what, we should, we can't help what our family does. And as a family, it's kind of hard to turn our back on family members that we love, children, brothers, sisters, even when they do horrible things, they're still our family. So I really don't ding her that much. I'm sure she feels bad for the situation, but at the end of the day, it angers me at the end of the day, even with all that said, she has a right to do that. Everybody has a right to take care of their family and still be in their family's life, even when they do terrible things. That's what family does, right? Family is to be there through thick and thin. That's the beauty of family. But even with that being said, it angers me to my core, truly angers me to my core, that they want to make him feel loved. When he took away that feeling for 4 individuals and their entire families. His victims spread so much further out. I'm not sure if I could do that. I really don't. If my family member had done something so heinous, I really don't know how I would react to it. But for me, I feel like I would have cut that person out of my life. I don't feel like I am, to the level of family as a lot of people are, I cut people out. That's kind of my shtick, when I feel like God puts people in your life for specific reasons, and he also removes those people from your life for specific reasons. It's hard, and I don't understand who comes and who goes. It's not for me, but I don't know why, but I have a problem associating with people that have caused harm. There's just some things that are inexcusable in life, and some things that you can't be forgiven for. I'm not clergy, folks. I am a Christian, but I am not clergy. Okay. I don't pray over people to relieve them of their sins. I don't counsel them, to come to God. I pray for people and over people. And at that day, I pretty much judge people. I'm a judger. I judge people's actions. I judge people's morality. I judge, a lot of different things about people. And I love my family. But there's just some things I can love you from a distance. I don't know if somebody took out 4 innocent people, if I would be that kind of person to show them love. But in something's popping into my brain that, and maybe it's popping into my brain for this very specific purpose, because I do have an experience, and I didn't really cut the person out. I told you guys about my friend, a very good friend of mine, that was under the influence and drove his truck off the road and hit a barn or a shed. It was a shed. It was a shed on a trailer park, something that people you would think would put like maybe their golf cart in. Well, nobody knew an entire family was sleeping on the floor in that shed. And when he crashed into that shed, he ended up, killing a pregnant mom with her first baby and a father. So the whole family was wiped out, and he's in jail for 40 years from that. And when this all happened, I did, write him and, told him happy birthday. And I think I did that to let him know that, he still has people out here that think of him. And he unalived people. The difference is with him is that his was a substance abuse, but it was an accident. He didn't plan to have this happen. It was a matter of time before something bad did happen, like with most people that are on substances and have addictions. It's only a matter of time before somebody is truly hurt, right? So it was one of those things. And so no matter how you look at it, there was people that died, including an unborn baby. And you guys know how I feel about that. So I guess in a piece of me, I guess I do have a little more, care, but I haven't talked to him in a really long time. I haven't wrote him in a really long time. I haven't reached out to his mother in a really long time. I haven't wished him a happy birthday in a really long time. I do still think of him, here and there. And I know he's in jail and dealing with the prison life. And it makes me wonder, is he really going to even have a life once he gets out? And the chances are probably not. It's probably going to be the same old, same old. I hope he changes his life. I hope he gets things together, but he's dealing with some serious time, 40 years. He's going to be an old man when he comes out of jail, if he doesn't die there. So, I mean, but again, that's not my family member. And if I look back now, I haven't talked to the man in over 20 years. So I guess it's one of those things where I really don't know how I would be. Obviously, back then when this happened, I was still trying to make sure that person felt like there, people out here still thought about them. Nowadays, not so much. Do I hate him for what he did? No, I do not hate him for what he did. I'm saddened that he put his mom through this, but I really truly believe the silver lining is at least his mom knows where he is, right? And at least his mom knows what he's doing, and at least she can sleep for the first time well at night, knowing that he's at least going to wake up tomorrow. There was a time when she didn't know. I can't imagine being a parent and dealing with that. I just can't. So it's tough. I don't know if you guys remember this case, but I went down to Hialeah because a teen boy that seemed to have such a good life stabbed his mother. She had just had a baby, and he unalived her. He didn't hurt the baby. He just woke up one day and hurt her. And from everything that we've learned is, he was very close to his mother and everything like that, so we didn't really understand why. But he's accused of brutally stabbing his mother to death more than 2 years ago, and he was back into court, and wow, how much he has changed appearance-wise since since this. So Derek Rosa faces first-degree. Let me put this up on the big screen. There we go. Let me go here. There you go. There he is. Much different from what he looked like, years ago, which that's kind of what he looked like right there. I don't know if you can very, very vaguely see him here, but this, let me just play this. No, I don't want to play it. But I was just trying to show you a photo of him. But now he looks majorly different. Hair's grown out. So anyways, Derek Rosa is facing first-degree murder charges for killing his mother, Irina Garcia, who was found slain in the family apartment. I went out there. This is one that we were boots on the ground for the reporting of this. I even went to his school. Rosa is now 15. He was a great student. He was a straight A student. I mean, he was a good student. Like, none of this was all left field stuff. But he's now 15, but this happened when he was only 13 years old when he killed his mother, where he stabbed her more than 40 times on October 12th, 2023. Just very, very angry. It sounds like he raged and interrupted over him, and by the time he was done, his mom was dead. Police said officers responded to the apartment after the teen called 911 and confessed to what he did to his 39-year-old mother. After taking Rosa into custody, officers found Garcia in her bedroom next to the crib where her newborn was unharmed. Rosa later told detectives he stabbed his mother while she slept, according to the arrest report. He took photos of his mother's body and sent it to a friend on social media and told the same friend over the phone that he killed her. Rosa, who at the time was in 8th grade at iMatter Academy in Hialeah, is being charged as an adult and is being held without bail. He's in Florida, and we don't play when it comes to Florida. His trial is going to be January 26th. I don't know. We might go sit in the trial for a little bit, but January and February we're pretty much all over the state, all over this half of the country. So it's going to be pretty tight for me to be there for the hearing, but maybe we can get there for the sentencing or something like that, depending on when that will be. At Monday's hearing, Rosa's attorneys were asked the judge to block the teen's confession from being used as evidence at the trial. Rosa covered his ears as the confession was played in court, in which she described grabbing a purple knife and targeting his mother near her artery. It seems very brutal. What would make this kid do this? In the video, he said she screamed as he killed her, and then he took pictures of her body and sent it to an online friend. Prosecutors wanted to use the confession to secure a guilty verdict in trial and believe Rosa and was possibly driven by fascination with violence, including horror movies and disturbing online videos. Just sad. Just sad all the way around. And we all know about, we covered this case very tenderly about this 11-year-old that was kidnapped, tortured, and abused. It seems like a 15-year-old helped make the connection between him and his captor. The 15-year-old was also present when this arrest was taking place in Flagler County, and the 15-year-old got behind the driver's seat of the truck and fled the scene with the 11-year-old child. The 11-year-old child believed he was going to be murdered that evening, so they really saved this 11-year-old child's life. We don't think of things like this, but this was absolutely one of the most horrific stories that I have heard in a really, really long time. So we will be monitoring that. And I also want to let you guys know that I just found out about this. This guy here with this disgusting grin on his face is a suspect in a kidnapping and an SA battery charge after a woman was found dead on Florida Beach at Christmas. So he targeted a woman, he AR'd and unalived her here in Florida. And I wanted to show you his face. He is now behind bars, and again, he's in Florida. So the chances of him most likely walking or getting out of prison are going to be slim to none. Why? Because we believe when we have violent criminals in the state of Florida, the best thing for our citizens is to lock those violent criminals up. And that's what we do here in the state of Florida. We do not let our criminals back on the streets like North Carolina does to kill our teachers. So there is that. And of course, here is the North Carolina man retention poured and during this week after a beloved Ravencraft school teacher was killed inside her Riley home. Her name was Zoe Welsh. I did a report on her. Nobody deserves to be unalived. Nobody deserves to be brutalized in their own house. However, it's hard for me not to point out that she's a Democrat, that these are the policies she believed in, and these policies are exactly what got her killed. I do not believe anybody deserves to be unalived or hurt, especially in their own home, but these are the policies they believe in. These are exactly why I do not believe in those policies. She was on the phone with 911. 911 could not get to her in time before she was killed. Can you imagine if she had a firearm in the house? She would have been able to protect herself. The assailant would have been the one that was dead instead of her. So every single Democrat policy that they say, oh, guess what? Don't have a gun. Do what the abductor tells you to do, right? Don't fight, right? None of that works, okay? This lady believed in all of that. And guess what? She was on the phone with 911 as she's losing her life by a criminal that should have been locked up. I feel bad for her, but it angers me because she did this to herself. And so do many other people. It's sad. Zoe Welsh was killed by an intruder in her home on Clay Street near Wade Avenue and St. Mary's on Saturday morning. On Saturday, Welsh called 911 and was on the phone with dispatchers as the intruder came into her home and attacked her while she was on the call. Officers arrived at the house just after 6:30 a.m. and found Welsh, who was critically injured. She was given medical aid, taken to the hospital where she succumbed to her injuries. Again, a beautiful teacher that many people loved, admired, and she is gone because of a criminal that should have been locked up, and policies that these liberal teachers, unfortunately, insist on having. These people here plead guilty to child S crimes and the lead up to a 14-year-old girl's death. This is coming out of Wisconsin. These are Evansville, man. I thought Evansville was in Indiana, but they might have an Evansville, I guess, in Wisconsin. I thought it was Evansville, Indiana, but I digress. Evansville man pled guilty to Rock County on Monday for multiple S crimes and preceded a 14-year-old girl's death. Hunter, 27, pled guilty to second-degree SA of a child and child X both felonies, according to online court records. The court dismissed but read 5 counts of possession of CSAM were pending against him. So the arrest of his girlfriend also happened, or maybe it was his wife, I'm not sure. They will be sentenced on April 2nd. I don't have an idea of what their sentencing is, but I'm hoping it is life in prison. And I don't know what this one, why I pulled this one. Some of this stuff might just be, I don't want to go into that right now. And then lastly, we have an Ohio police hunt for a killer after a dentist and his wife were found shot to death. Their children were safe inside the home. This sounds very personal, but who knows? A manhunt is underway for an individual who shot and killed a dentist and his wife in Columbus, Ohio, just a month before their 5th wedding anniversary. The Columbus Department said officers responded to the house on Tuesday morning for a wellness check when they found Spencer and Monique Teep dead with gunshot wounds. Dispatch records state that Spencer was shot multiple times and Monique was shot at least once in the chest. 2 young children were found safe in the home. According to the police, don't believe their deaths were a murder-suicide. So it sounds like they're working on something. I don't know how old their children are. There's their faces. Looks like pretty young, normal people, that deserved better. They have video now. Video of what? Yeah, the bottom of his head was squared. And then he did beard box. Oh, I'm walking in on the middle of a conversation. I don't know what that means. Did you get the balloon? Did you get a balloon? A ballroom cartoon? Oh, I haven't checked. I've been running since 4 o'clock this morning. I haven't checked my emails at all. I mean, I checked like the first few of them. I haven't gotten to it if you sent it by email. No. Not yet. So this is Smoker. This is Spencer and Monique TP, I think, as Tepe, or maybe it might be Tepe. But it's Tepe, Tepe. I don't know. I probably said it right the first time, but I don't want to over. So Columbus police requested a video from the neighbors. Oh, video. Hold on. The perp. They have a video of the perp. Okay, so let's find the dentist perp video. Ohio. Okay, here it is. Thank you. Give it just a second, guys.
Police in Ohio have released new video of a person.
Give it just a second.
Of interest in the killing of a well-known dentist and his wife at their Columbus home. Police believe the murder happened sometime between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. on December 30th. And this new video shows a person of interest walking in the alley near their home during that time. Police say Spencer Tepe was shot several times. His wife Monique was shot once.
Well, there's a few things that I can tell you just that I'm observing right now. Now, I don't know if it has anything to do with it. One, this guy's on foot. He doesn't appear to be having any belongings, robbery, or anything like that. He's walking away. It looks to me like a man. I'm very interested in the wife's past history. These people have only been married for 5 years. Who were they with before that? So you've got a person walking away where it doesn't look like he's stolen anything of value from the home. He's on foot. He seems to be casually and leisurely walking. This seems very premeditated to me. This seems like somebody that they would know. It really does. I could be completely wrong about that. I was looking at the pants. It almost looked like maybe a homeless person. But even a homeless person would have grabbed some booze, grabbed some cash, grabbed some jewelry, grabbed, something. And this person doesn't look like they're carrying anything, that they have nothing. So he is hiding, and he's hiding his face. Yeah, X had a restraining order, says it was mutual. X was military. There's your problem. So I'm pretty sure they're honing in on an X, because that's the only thing. What I'm seeing, I mean, if I saw a car here, if I saw some things being loaded up, we could say that the prime cause is this this theft, this burglary. But it's been 5 years since. It doesn't matter. Abusers are abusers. They wait until they can get you. And we don't know what happened in this. And you know what? I'm not saying it's the X. I'm just saying the X is really, really, really looking good for it, because it looks like somebody that came in that house for the sole purpose of killing them. And if that's the case, this is something very personal. That means whoever did this is known to them. So what do we look at? We look at the people first. I mean, does the guy have a partner at the business practice? Is this a well-known business practice? We need to learn those things, because money is the reason for a lot of this. And if he had a dentist practice and partners, and maybe they were about to have some financial, or somebody was stealing funds and they were about to be exposed by this dentist, there could be a lot of things that can go into this. But the first thing that I feel, looking at what I'm looking at, is a man, okay? And a big man, a thick man, a military-looking man here that has nothing from the house with him. No forced entry, had to know the code or let in. It's somebody that they know. Does the ex have kids with him? Because there were children in the house. But and let's just keep going through. Maybe we'll find out that there was something stolen from the house, and maybe it can lead to a burglary. But I'm seeing a man with hands in his pocket walking down the road. It is a man. We're not looking at it for a woman here. We're looking at a man, and I can tell by this video we're not looking at a thin person. We're looking at a fairly thick person.
In the chest. Investigators also say there was no sign of forced entry. They do not believe it was a murder-suicide.
I don't know. Lots to be said, lots to be had. Guys, we did it. We freaking did it. I cannot believe I got through all of that. Literally all of that before 8 o'clock. So I'm very thankful that we were able to get through all of that. Guys, thanks for being here with me. I know it is extremely early. We started extremely early this morning. I'm very thankful we didn't have too many technical issues like yesterday. But we did it. We did it. All of you beautiful people that are on the replay crew, have an amazing Tuesday. If I have the energy, if I leave the meeting early and I'm not going to be talking anymore on any other things, and I come back here early, I promise you guys I will go live if I have the energy. If I do not have the energy, we will be back here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We're going to have several live shows tomorrow because we got to make up time for today, right? If we don't come back for a second. But tomorrow we might throw in a third show, right, kind of in the middle of our morning and our evening show. So we'll see what's going on. We'll see what kind of news is breaking tomorrow. We'll see what kind of information is flowing out. We are working on the Sebastian Rogers case and plugging in interviews. I'm not going to have time to go, Delilah, shh, inside voice. I'll be with you in just a second. We will plug in some of Seth's interviews and see what's going on. I do want to make this disclaimer, okay? I'm hearing that there is some breaking news going on in the summer, or in the Sebastian Rogers case. I don't know whether it's true or not. I can tell you from where I sit, it doesn't appear it has teeth to it. But we are trying to confirm information to find out if that's the case. But right now we're hearing it's not true. Whatever's going on about Katie may not be true. So just sit still. Inside voice for Delilah. Yeah. So just sit tight. If we find out that something is not right, we will let you know. But right now we do not have Sebastian, so there's no arrest warrants without Sebastian. You guys understand that, right? So I don't know how somebody can be on the run without an arrest warrant. So I think the first thing we need to find out is that they're an arrest warrant. That's the only way somebody can be on the run, is if they're fleeing from an arrest warrant. Otherwise, they can move about freely. Just to put it out there like that, okay? Betty, I confirmed it is not true. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know how that, there one of two things could have happened. Somebody could have intentionally tried to misrepresent information for clicks and views, or somebody was trolled. I don't see how it could be any other way, because it seems like we all have the same numbers that we can reach out to confirm information before we run stories, especially stories like this. I thought it was a very poor decision, and I'm going to leave it at that. Okay. I don't like misinformation to this scale, and I feel like there's a lot of misinformation, and I'm just going to remind our friendly true crime content creators, we're here for the truth, okay? The truth. You will get clicks and views for the truth. You don't need to make up truths to get clicks and views. I'm not saying that that's what the case may be or anything. I don't know what. I'm just saying that we do things the right way. It seemed like it should have been very easy to pick up a phone and confirm before you went and did a live. I think the live needs to come down. I think somebody needs to apologize to the community. If it was an error, then it was an error. People make mistakes all the time. It's not a big deal, but it's how you handle those mistakes that become a big deal. Okay, and have me look at you like a friendly or like I'm not going to have anything to do with that person, right? So please and I'm sure that there's a lot of content creators just like me that are on the same vein. So when you have the respect of content creators, you don't want to lose that. So please do the right thing and clarify what had happened, and I think that should be sufficient. But anyways, guys, you listen to whoever you guys listen to. We do the best we can over here, but usually when it comes to cases that we have a good handle on, if we're not saying it, you might want to, but always if you hear something, send that stuff to us, because we never know, right? We do actually look into it. We just don't take somebody and just run with a story. We actually pick up a phone and find out the reality of that statement before we run a story. It seems like professional journalism, okay? I know that there's a lot of people on here that aren't professional journalism, but you are now in journalism, okay? So whether you're a professional or not, you're having a channel and you're being paid from that channel. Do your job, okay? You have a job to do. Do your job well. And I think that this is not a job well done, okay? So I'm just going to leave it at that. I just want to encourage people to do the right thing. I don't want anybody to think that I'm being mean to anybody or being rude or nasty. I love content creators, and I love the fact that people are keeping Sebastian's name, but there's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it. That's all I'm saying, okay? You guys have an amazing day. God bless each and every one of you, and we will see you soon. So thanks for being here.